Welcome in, everybody. This is episode number 6 of the First and Footballers podcast. What's going on, Mike? I am Justin here in Green Bay.
What's going on, man? We decided to jump into this recording here because we were chatting far too long about what we probably should have been recording.
I'm wasting all the good content in Discord, that's for sure. But we'll
But
hopefully just pick right back up where we left off, right?
yeah, man. Yeah, let's hop right into it. Let's get a recap on the Jags Saints game, that Thursday night football game. I took the Jags winning that game, and you said no way. Unfortunately, you were unaware of the offensive line being depleted
Yeah,
of the
that's kind of a
Saints,
game changer, you know.
but you still owe me dinner.
That's true.
So I'm gonna
That's
take
true.
that. And I did call out Trevor Lawrence was gonna ball out regardless of that knee injury, and he did just that, leading rusher in the game. They dominated the first half of that game. The Saints did wake up in the second half, but a little too late.
Yeah, Lawrence's legs ultimately, I think, are pretty much what killed it for the Saints. I mean, he was able to keep drives alive whenever they were looking like they were sputtering for the Jags, and ultimately, I think that's just kind of the Achilles heel right there for a lot of defenses, especially, like nobody looks at Trevor Lawrence like he's Lamar. Everybody's like, yeah, he's mobile. It's in the back of their head, but like, man, the great one, I shouldn't say the great ones, but the best mobility is knowing when to be mobile, and he's got that trait. So
Yeah, I mean, putting up 7 points in the first quarter, 10 in the second, and then 7 and 7 in the third and fourth quarter
yeah.
is no match for when the Saints put up 3 points in 3 consecutive quarters and decided to score 15 at the end of the game with a
Well,
phenomenal touchdown catch by Michael Thomas.
definitely. Yeah. Huge shout out to Michael Thomas. Oh,
Yeah.
needed that big in my fantasy game.
I
But yeah,
have him in 2 of my fantasy leagues. I haven't played him yet because I haven't needed to.
I
But
got you.
having him there, man, the consistency, you love to see that guy coming back, making an impact after all the years of injuries and BS.
Yeah. I mean, it's also nice to see that they got him running more than just slant routes, too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
As far as the Saints offense goes, though, you're talking about the 15 points of the fourth quarter. Do like, do you think that's any bit of significance? I kind of wonder if that'll get the Saints offense rolling here because they look pretty good. I mean, you even heard
Derek.
the announcers talking about it, like, "Oh, Derek Carr's not sitting back there patting the ball, hitch, hitch, hitch." Like,
Yeah.
it's like he's when he's hitch, hitch, read. It's either there, it's not, and he's going to the next read, and not just immediately dumping off to Alvin Kamara.
I don't mind those points in fantasy for Kamara, but
I'm
that
sure.
having him as a safety net is inhibiting their offense.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah.
And I think like Carr got pissed and he was like, screw this. I'm balling out. I'm done. And he needs to have that attitude because he needs to trust in his ability
Yeah.
because he can be a stud and he just needs to let all inhibitions go and just ball out.
Yeah. It almost makes me think that, like, he's learning a new offense. So to some degree, he's got to feel like a rookie again in some senses. And maybe, it's kind of similar to Zach Wilson. Like, they kind of stopped babysitting him and just let him throw the damn ball. Like, they just let him play with some confidence. And they basically told him to trust in your own abilities. You
Yeah.
know the offense well enough. Just believe that you do and let it rip. And it's almost like that's what Derek Carr did. So I almost kind of wonder, like, is that similar to a Zach Wilson moment when they played the Chiefs? Did it just click? Like, did the offense just now suddenly, is that a little spark? Can they keep it
Yeah.
going? Because part of you're talking about Kamara being inhibiting of the offense as a safety valve. Like, I almost wonder if they just have too much talent altogether on that Saints offense. And that
Yeah.
can itself be like paralysis by analysis. You know what I'm
Dude,
saying?
that's like superstar like football team or not football teams, basketball teams. When you see
Yeah.
like, oh, they got all these dudes. You got LeBron and the Lakers and
The
do all that.
dream team.
They did win a championship, but then the following years they were dog water. Like they weren't good.
Well, like they had
But
the dream team and then needed the redeem team. You know what I
yeah,
mean? That's a great
yeah.
documentary, by the way. I believe that's on Netflix. I don't know if you've
But
seen that.
I don't know what the Saints are. I don't know. It's hard to see. They have the offense to do it. Can they put it together? Can they click? Who knows? I mean, you wouldn't think they'd be sitting at 3-4 right now. Their
Yeah.
defense is better than what they played. They did not help the offense in the first half of that game.
Agreed.
But I mean, what can you do?
Dude, Rashid Shaheed, though. Did you see that catch that didn't count?
Oh, yeah.
Man, the Saints down. Whoever's in their scouting department, Green Bay needs to snipe one of them dudes that knows how to actually scout a receiver talent. Like Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, Rashid Shaheed. It's like they don't miss. They're turning into the Steelers. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, I digress. Yeah,
Yeah, dude, let's we'll close that out. It'll be interesting to see how the Saints evolve and if the Jags can keep it rolling.
most definitely. I got some
Um,
notable news and injuries for us here next.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
sounds pretty good to you.
Yeah.
Probably first and foremost, I forget the exact reporter's name that put it out there at the current moment, but I did hear through a verified source, shout out to the fantasy footballers, that Deshaun Watson, quote, looks like a go for week
Oh yeah.
7.
Yeah, I saw that
That's
all over
huge.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So uh, another
Yeah, that guy
thing,
stinks still, but yeah.
another huge piece of news here. I mean, it's also injury related on both of these guys, but Jameer Gibbs, according to Dan Campbell, he's going to quote need
Let's
to take the
go.
bulk of the work.
Let's
Finally,
go.
unleash this kid.
Let's
Like you spent
go.
a top tier draft pick on him for a reason.
I
Like,
can't wait to see this dude play.
oh yeah,
I got notes on that, but yes,
yeah.
Jameer Gibbs playing. Let's go.
And then the last piece of notable news, I'm sure we'll all be sick of the hype about it, this storyline by the time the game is over. But the Alabama Bowl, oh, dude, Sunday Night Football is going to be
Eagles.
crazy. Eagles, Dolphins.
Yeah.
Whew, it's going
I
to be
hope it lives
amazing.
up to the hype.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, let's get into some injuries so we know what to be hype about and what
Yeah.
not to be hype about.
Yeah, let us know what we're looking at here.
So Damian Harris just got sent to the IR. Probably a good move. Hope that dude's okay. That was a pretty serious injury.
Yeah.
Roshan Johnson's out for the Bears, as is Justin Fields.
The old dome piece.
Yeah, Roshan Johnson's still dealing with concussion protocol. Justin Fields, obviously, with his thumb. Deshaun Watson, as we spoke about, should be a go with that shoulder. What are they calling it? A rotator cuff, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And I know it's changed a few times, whatever's going on with that weird situation. Kareem Hunt is ruled as questionable with a thigh injury. That's probably not good news. I mean, it might be good news to Jerome Ford owners in fantasy, but Greg Dulcich is doubtful with a hamstring for the Broncos. So that's good news for the Packers defense. Hopefully one less person to embarrass
one less weapon.
Yeah. Craig Reynolds, this is kind of a big deal. He's questionable week 7, probably a game time decision with a hamstring and a toe injury. So it's probably a big reason why Jameer Gibbs is going to see the bulk of that workload.
Those hammies.
Yeah, Jameer Gibbs is definitely going to play, if you could not tell already. One positive piece of injury news here for the Lions. Sam Laporta is off the injury report entirely from everything I could see.
All right.
Fire him up in fantasy. He's been a stud this year. Oh, my God.
Give me every weapon to watch those Ravens fall.
Oh, man. We'll talk about that later. Anyways, continuing on. Aaron Jones, still questionable with a hamstring injury. He was limited in practice Thursday.
He should play.
Yeah, so I would assume he's going to play. I mean, it's been quite some time now. So another piece of injury here from the Packers on the defensive side, Jair is questionable. So that, might give Broncos wide receivers some life. I don't know. That's a pretty big deal for the Packers defense. I mean,
yeah,
I'm kind of expecting
he's a staple.
I'm kind of expecting both teams to find the end zone, more than a couple times in that game, but that's beside the point. Alec Pierce of the Colts is questionable with a shoulder injury. Justin Watson of the Chiefs is out. He dislocated his elbow last week, and he's not going to be able to make it. Jimmy G, Mr. Glass, doubtful, not going to play. Back injury.
Hurting.
Yep. Jeff Wilson Jr. was a full participant at practice Thursday, and I read some news before getting on here that he is expected to play this week. So they have not activated him off of IR yet currently. By the way, when I checked all these injuries, this was all checked at 4 p.m. Central Time for those of you listening, watching. So I expect Jeff Wilson to play. How big his role is going to be, we'll see. But I know they don't have Devon Achane. It's basically going to be just him and Raheem Mostert. So I would actually expect him to see a good amount of work.
Just give the ball to Mostert.
Give the ball to Jeff Wilson. I need him.
I'm on the other side. I got Mostert in 2 leagues. Let him keep rolling.
How about they each get touchdowns this week? Okay, that sounds good to me.
There's going to be a bunch scored. So, yeah, we can divvy that out.
Exactly. Moving on here. Juju Smith-Schuster is questionable, still in concussion protocol, as is Demario Douglas, a.k.a. Pop Douglas for the Patriots. Hunter Henry is also questionable with an ankle injury. So New England, already looking rough, and now looks like any sort of offensive skill that they have is, literally gone. So,
yeah,
that's pretty tough.
We're going to see some stuff this offseason.
Oh yeah, maybe even sooner. We'll see. Daniel Jones is questionable, and he's quote probably
I
won't go
think
as he is still not cleared for contact.
I'm not
And
100% sure, but I thought I saw he was out.
oh well, that yeah.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be Tyrod Taylor then for the Giants, most likely. Let's see here. Continuing on with Pat Fryermuth. Unfortunately, bad
Oh, never.
hammies. He's not going to play. Ruled out. TJ Watt is questionable with a foot injury,
No,
another
he's
defensive
playing.
injury. He's
He's
playing?
playing.
Okay.
Yep, he's in. I obviously being a Steelers guy, I follow everything Steelers. He's worried. That injury ain't slowing him down. Neither is that dislocated finger. He's going to be going after Stafford this weekend.
All righty. Another Steeler here. Deontay Johnson, still on the IR technically. I think he's probably going to play, but
He's
he's been
playing.
practicing in full. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's playing.
Leave it to the Steelers beat
Yeah.
himself right here.
Yeah, we need him.
Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, timeout.
Yeah.
You missed a big Steeler guy. Pat Fryermuth is out.
I already said that.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Oh, my apologies. Well, to add to the fact that he is out this weekend, it is deemed that it's going to be a multiple game out. Like, it's not just this game.
So potential IR stint here.
I mean, the fact that this hurts, man. This hurts so bad. But yeah, it's expected that he is not going to play the next couple games for sure. So,
well, I mean, here's a positive note for you. I mean, in lieu of his absence, maybe they'll actually throw the ball to their talented wide receivers.
The Giant? How about the Giant Darnell Washington? How about you throw the ball to that guy?
No, just get George Pickens 15 targets a game. That's what you guys need to do. I don't care if Deontay Johnson is listed as the WR1. He ain't GP14, but that's beside the point.
I'm with you.
Moving on with some more injuries after Deontay here and Pat Fryermuth once more. CMC, Christian McCaffrey is questionable. I mean, obviously he's extremely ambiguous and like never wants to give any details. The Niners are notorious for really not being the greatest communicators on injuries.
It's like hockey.
Honestly, who knows? Like, I could see him playing. I could also see him not playing because the Niners are probably looking at the season like the Golden State Warriors look at the NBA regular season.
The 49ers treat it just like hockey. I know you're not a big hockey guy, but I am. It's always upper body injury, lower body injury. Yeah. We don't know how long they're going to be out. We'll talk to you later. Possible. Maybe they'll be on the ice. I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, so who really knows? Because it's same thing for Debo. I mean, Debo's questionable. He did not practice Thursday with that shoulder injury. So it's like they're pretty banged up. I could see the Niners just saying, sit McCaffrey, sit Debo, and we'll probably end up beating Minnesota anyways.
Yeah. I mean, Debo's been on questionable every single week this year, I feel like.
I feel like that dude's entire career has been coming with an injury designation.
But every time he's on the field, they're always like, man, that guy's a monster. He's huge. It's like, but he's glass. Like,
I wouldn't say he's glass, but he does have a tendency to get injured. He does play through a lot of them. I give him that credit.
True. He is typically out there.
Yeah, he's a tough son of a bitch, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Last couple injuries here to round it out. Of note, DK Metcalf is questionable with ribs and a hip injury. So I don't know if he's going to be a game time decision.
No, I
go on there. Or
I think he's still going to play. He's had these same injuries. Last week he missed Wednesday, Thursday as well. He's typically missing a couple practices, and he usually shows up. The guy's a specimen.
Yeah, he is. For whatever reason, Seattle just doesn't want to, use him to his potential. But
yeah,
I digress. Like, once again, target your hyper talented wide receiver and see what happens. But last but not least, Zach Charbonnet, also of the Seahawks, he is questionable. Did not practice today, Friday, October 20th.
That's big.
That is big. Yeah. Hamstring injury. I don't think he's going to play. Kenneth Walker probably in store for a massive workload.
Yeah, he's going to be getting the ball, and they're going to be all over Arizona.
I would agree with that statement.
All right, let's go into this week's games. So we got 6 teams on the bye this week. We got the Bengals, Cowboys, Titans, Jets, Bengals, and Texans. That's a buttload of people that people have on fantasy.
Yeah, so and nobody's on bye next week. This is ridiculous. NFL needs to do better.
And then what? The Packers and Steelers on bye last week had no effect on anybody's fantasy.
Pretty
Like
much. I mean,
you're not playing anybody on the Steelers for offense. You're questionably playing people on the Packers for offense.
you're probably playing George Pickens on the Steelers, and that's literally it.
Yeah, this week it's a question though. With Deontay back, what are you going to divvy that workload out?
Unless you're one of those sad souls that is forced to play Najee Harris. Shout out to my old
I
man.
did just pick him up. And speaking of that, let's go into the Steelers Rams game.
Yeah,
Rams are favored -3, home advantage.
it's not
Um,
really going to be a home advantage though.
I mean,
Steelers
the
fans are
Steelers
showing up
travel.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're going to show up there. But so I got some notes on this one. I think Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are going to have a field day. The Steelers do not know how to defend the pass game, and when there's a superstar, they give up a buttload of yards and a buttload of yards in the run game. Luckily, Williams is out for the Steelers' sake, not for other people's sake, because we want to see that guy play.
agreed.
TJ Watt and Highsmith, I'm looking for them to disrupt the pass game if it's going to give the Steelers any chance at winning this game. They're going to have to get to Stafford, and I think they're going to get to Stafford. We're going to see multiple sacks in this game, and TJ Watt's going to be a part of that. And I think we're going to see Minka Fitzpatrick. They're going to have him back there ball hawking this week. He hasn't gotten any interceptions this year, which is not like Minka. And they don't have a run game. So Minka's going to be sitting back there waiting for that ball, eyeing Matthew Stafford, looking at these two guys. The only way the Steelers need to get over their 15.8 points per game. They need to get over that average if they're going to beat the Rams this week. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm picking the Steelers to win this game and not taking the Rams -3. I may be ignorant in that, but I think TJ Watt and Highsmith come in there and get in Stafford's face and disrupt the pass game. The Arizona Cardinals dominated the Rams when Williams was out in the first half of that last game, and he's not in this entire game. Cooper Kupp, it's a toss-up, but I think they have their way with him, and it's a close game, but I think the Steelers pull it off and get over their average points.
Yeah, those are some high hopes there.
I know. Yeah, that's my
You want to talk about the Cardinals dominating, the Rams and everything. Number one, that's a division game. I mean, totally different battlegrounds here. Number two, I think TJ Watt obviously will have an effect on the game at some point in time, but to what degree? Because it's like I think the Rams are just very balanced offense. I mean, they're going to be able to, as you said, run right up the middle of that Steelers defense, and I think they're going to be able to keep them guessing and stay balanced. I just don't see. I mean, when's the last time the Steelers even had over 400 yards of total offense game?
dude.
Like,
What?
I'm like,
Don't
I'm
bring
just
that
trying
up.
to be
Those are just
realistic.
numbers, dude.
Yeah,
It's
age
only -3,
age is
man.
just a number, and jail is just a room, right? It's like
it's only -3. That's a field goal game right there.
yeah, that's true.
So if the Steelers can do a little, like I was saying, a little bit above their average offensive production, or even the Steelers defense can go get 2 touchdowns, there's your 14 points right there. I know I gotta stretch for this. I'm guessing you're gonna take the Rams -3 on this one.
Yeah, 100%.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll take that as my gimme because I won last night. You got any other notes on that game?
I mean, not really, other than what we just discussed. I mean, I just kind of think the Rams are going to, like I said, play balance, pretty much be able to do whatever they want against that Steelers defense for the most part of that game. We'll see if TJ Watt can get back there. It's not a question of, I should say, if he can get back there, but how much he can get back there, and if he can get the ball out.
Yeah.
Taking a sack is great. Sacking the quarterback and getting the ball out is even better. So
yeah, well, that's one thing he's good at.
Yeah, exactly. So
the Steelers are notorious. The Steelers are notoriously good out of the bye with Mike Tomlin.
That is true. That is true. Very true.
Those offensive adjustments with Matt Canada. Ugh.
Yeah, I smell somebody else got play calling duties, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right, let's move on from that and get into another personal game we got going on here in the Packers and Broncos. Green Bay -1. What do you have?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Honestly, this is a huge bounce back opportunity for both teams. I mean, Green Bay coming off the bye. after a tough, embarrassing loss to the Raiders. I mean, Denver coming off a tough loss to the Chiefs where they just kept shooting themselves in the foot over
Hmm.
and over and over again.
Yeah.
I think the key here is going to be which defense can get the stop when they need it. I do think both defenses leak like a sieve. The Packers
Yeah.
inexplicably and inexcusably, considering 8 out of 11 starters are first round picks. Joe Barry, in my opinion, is fucking trash. So just like
Yeah.
get him out of here. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Matt LaFleur, but I got a lot more respect and tolerance and a leash for how good of a coach LaFleur is compared to Joe Barry. So if
Yeah.
Jair plays, I think the Packers are going to be the defense that can get that stop when it matters most. And
I'm with you.
I think you're going to see Love try to spread the ball around. He's not. I think he's to some degree in critical situations. He kind of gets those Elmer eyes and gets glued to one guy he's really been liking in that moment or like that series or that game or whatnot. I just want to see him just kind of just relax a little, just take what the defense is giving you. You know,
Yeah.
don't sit back here and try to win the game every play.
Yeah. He has not proved, going back to the Steelers game with the bias, he's not Kenny Pickett clutch.
No,
Like he folds in those moments. He's shown
I wouldn't.
regular. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say I wouldn't say he's like not clutch, but I wouldn't say like I can't even say that Kenny Pickett is clutch either. Like I don't think
He's
we have
Kenny
large
Pickett's
enough.
been.
I don't think we have large enough sample
What do
sizes.
you? He's had like 6 fourth quarter comebacks in his short career.
What
He
kind
was.
of deficits are we talking here?
I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look that up. But I
Okay.
mean, he's had great comebacks against the Raiders last year. The Ravens. They went. What did they go, 6-2 or something like that in the
Yeah, they
stretch
finished
after the
out the
bye?
year really strong
And
last
it was
year.
it was dude. Kenny Pickett does not play well throughout the whole game, but when it comes to the fourth quarter, that guy's making decisions. He did it last week
See,
or
I
two
think J
weeks
Lo's a
ago.
little more clutch than like you give him credit for, but I just don't think he's had the opportunity to show it like as much
Yeah.
as Kenny Pickett has. I mean, like,
Yeah. I think if Love got that deep ball down, Love would be a dog. Those overthrows are killer, man.
especially when they're wide ass open dudes too. Like, I
Man,
mean,
like
we're
he's
talking
got the
5+ yards
guys.
of separation here. Yeah,
Yeah. So I think this game's going to be close, and it's going to be there's going to be a lot of touchdowns scored here.
yeah,
And I think,
I could
but I
see
think,
like 30,
I think
30.
Love shows up, and I think the Packers win. I think,
I hope so.
yeah, I
I hope
think
he shows up.
Aaron Jones coming back, and I think Love's going to have a bounce back game against this terrible Broncos defense, and they're going to win by a score. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think we win out of sheer desperation, honestly. Just because if we don't win this game, it's going to be some hard times here in Green Bay that we haven't felt in well over a decade.
You're going to
So,
be in the Pittsburgh realm of hearing like Fire Matt Canada. You're going to have chants in the stadium,
yes.
and you don't hear that in Green Bay. That does
Exactly.
not happen. It
Exactly.
did. It never happened in Pittsburgh. You're hearing Fire Matt Canada, Pat McAfee show today live at Ohio State because it's Ohio State Penn State this
Huh.
weekend for college.
Oh
There
my.
were there were fire. So they go through their game previews in the show.
Yeah.
There were Fire Matt Canada chants when they went to the Steelers game.
All
Like,
the Yinzers fired up.
it's toxic, man. But hey, it could turn to that in Green Bay real quick if they don't get a dub here.
Winning fixes everything. Winning is the cure for everything. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you're winning ugly. It goes in the win column all the same.
They don't ask how, they ask how many.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on. Our passion dies down here as far as our teams that we love to have disappoint us. We got
Unfortunately.
the Raiders at the Bears. What a stinker. Las Vegas is favored -2.5 right now. Um, I think that the Raiders get back on track, although they don't have Jimmy G in there. They're going to target Devontae Adams now after that big media hype. Like,
They
throw your
better.
ball,
I
throw your
mean,
ball. Even if it's the rookie coming in, what's his name?
Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, Aiden O'Connell. Even if he starts, he's going to be looking to Devontae Adams to give the ball, or even dump off to. Sorry, I'm like drawing a blank on names. Josh
Kobe
Jacobs.
Myers. Oh,
No, Josh Jacobs. Like little dump offs, like they treated Alvin Kamara with the Saints game last night. Like running the ball to Josh Jacobs, giving it to Devontae Adams, and they have Jacoby Myers, like you said. I think that they have a great chance to. They have much more offensive weapons than the Bears have that can change the game. But the Raiders defense also has the capability to shut down. I'm surprised that this line is only -2, especially when they have a D2 quarterback coming in here.
Yeah. I don't think they're like marginally better than the Bears. I think they are like vastly better than the Bears. I think the Bears
Yeah,
defense is trash. That they have all the tools for whatever reason. They're just like not. It's almost like the Raiders like have the right tools for the job, but they're like in the other room and they're too lazy to get up and go get it. So they're just using like whatever's closest and handiest to like get the job done. You know, kind of like most dudes use their fist as a hammer type
yeah,
deal. And like they're just like, yeah, we traded a first round pick for Devontae Adams and gave him all this money, but like, man, Jacoby Myers from Jimmy G or Aiden O'Connell, either of our quarterbacks, it's like that's just that can get the job done. And it's like they
yeah.
are technically winning like the last couple weeks here, and it's like,
But you have this guy sitting there,
yeah, like what did you go get him for? Like,
best in the NFL. Like he,
arguably, yeah, like
yeah. You think that the crazy thing too is like you think Jimmy G coming in, that would be the answer. You think of Jimmy G, this basic quarterback that's going to throw decent balls. He's going to throw a few picks, but he's a very schematic dude.
yes, very
And they
very
just
much. He will definitely operate within the confines of your structure and
and they just
system.
fall. But they got to beat the Bears this
Oh yeah,
weekend.
I think they better win by at least a touchdown. I
Yeah.
think the Raiders are underperforming, but even if they underperform, I think they still beat the Bears. So
So you also are taking that line,
yeah,
Las
most
Vegas
definitely.
-2.5. All
Yeah,
right, that's what I thought. All right, next game we got Browns at Colts.
yeah. You want to talk about a
Another
stinker?
weird game.
This one's gonna
What do
suck.
you got on this one, man?
I mean, well, Cleveland's favored by 3, and it should honestly be a lot more. Like, yeah, there's gonna be bad weather and whatnot, but don't matter. They're playing inside, so Cleveland's gonna slaughter them. I think with Deshaun Watson back, and like Cleveland's got a historically great defense right now, and they are pretty much the best at man coverage. And pretty much the easiest and best way to beat Gardner Minshew is to clog up the middle of the field, the passing lanes, and just play aggressive man coverage and make him beat you outside the numbers, taking shots down the field because it's not really what Gardner Minshew is the greatest at.
Yeah, if he's making shots down the field, he's overthrowing that ball,
Yeah,
and
right,
somebody's picking it off.
right. So I mean, but in comparison, the Browns also, I think they're giving up the most fantasy points to the slot wide receiver this year.
Yeah, that's
So in man coverage. And so I think Josh Downs for the Colts is probably going to have a lot, like he's probably going to have a nice day stat wise, but I think the Colts are going to get trampled here and it's all going to be garbage time points. So I think Cleveland smashes them pending a Deshaun Watson implosion. So,
yeah. I think that the only way that teams beat the Browns are with elite defenses. Like the Steelers beat the Browns.
or an elite quarterback.
Yeah, it's like the Colts don't have that. I mean,
Correct.
I hope that Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor can have a heck of a game.
Yeah.
Obviously, I want the Browns to lose, but I don't see any way the Browns are losing this game, man.
I tell
Unless
you,
what is Minshew's like? Hasn't he only won like 2 or 3 games in his career?
I don't know what his stats are, but I can tell you right now, I think there is only one way the Colts can win this game, and they have a very slim chance of doing it. They pretty much got to thread the needle, and that is if there's anybody that can crack the code of a defense and be able to move the ball by running it, it's going to be Shane Steichen. I mean,
Yeah,
that Philly run offense was so dominant last year, and like look at
yeah.
what Zach Moss is doing for the Colts already. So the only way they can do it, I
Everybody
believe,
thought he was dead.
dude. Yeah, I mean, not only that, but it's like he's just like I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's an NFL talent, but like
Yeah,
they have Jonathan Taylor back. He is a
yeah,
top 3 back in the league. They already their snaps last week went to 50-50. You can expect Taylor to probably go at minimum 60-40 here, maybe even 70-30 and
yeah.
start getting a big workload. And you know what we know what that dude can do with the ball in his hands. So I think if the Colts can start quick, by like somehow get a lead. I mean, have some good scripted plays. Even if you're only up by a possession, that allows you to run the ball pretty much from game
And
to game
they
stretch.
had a decent defense in years past. Like
Correct.
they have the potential. And I'm gonna give
They
Gardner Minshew
played
credit.
Deshaun Watson a lot. He used to be in the AFC South.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's all different personnel and shit from then, but it's like
yeah.
there's that chance, but I just don't see it's gonna happen. It has to pan out right. They gotta like run the kickoff back for a touchdown or something. Like just get that
Yeah,
lead and then run that rock.
yeah. To end this, I will give
Look it up.
Gardner Minshew credit. He has a 16-22 record, so he's better than I thought he was. Still not great, but so what do you got on this? You're going to take Cleveland -3 here.
Yeah, smash it.
All right.
If I was in a state of like legitimate legal sports gambling, I would probably be pretty tempted to put some money on this Browns line.
Unfortunately, in our state, we cannot do that.
Correct.
All right, next we got Bills at Patriots. Buffalo favored -8.5.
Oh, this will be a
I
quick
could,
recap or
yeah,
preview.
yeah, this could be an absolute beatdown. Although I've said that before about the Bills, but I think the Bills actually do show up and just completely dominate. They're going to throw up a 40 piece on them. I'd be surprised if the Patriots put a touchdown on the board, man. Like,
I wouldn't say that bad, but yeah, I do think it's gonna be a bloodbath, and it ain't
I
gonna be
mean, they've had
Buffalo's blood on
multiple
the
games.
walls.
They've had multiple games where they've had one where they haven't scored anything. I think one game where they've scored 6 points.
I think they figured out a couple things on offense last week. I'm not going to say like they have enough to like go win games, but they have enough to at least go like without Matt Milano, without Daquan Jones, right? That's the interior defensive lineman for Buffalo, and like they don't have Trey White. It's like I think New England will be able to move the ball strictly
Yeah.
because it's a divisional matchup. They've seen each other so much. Like if Christian Gonzalez was still playing and healthy,
Yeah.
this might be a trap game for Buffalo because if you can lock up Stephon Diggs, as we've seen, Buffalo's kind of helpless, but I don't see that happening. I think
Buffalo
pretty much
seems
does what they want.
Buffalo seems to make their own trap games even when they're favored by 15 points.
I mean,
But
they literally remind me of the Packers circa, like 2013, 2015. It's like,
yeah,
McCarthy had Rodgers. I mean, we had more weapons at that point in time, but like
yeah,
I'd say even probably circa 2016, it's like McCarthy looked at Rodgers and was like, you're so great, just go be great all game. And like
yeah.
you can't win like that
The
forever.
so the Patriots average 12 points per game, and this line is -8.5. What do you got on this? Are you taking that line?
Yeah, I'll take that line.
All right. Next we
I
got
like them by at least 10.
Commanders at Giants.
Yeah, Washington is somehow favored at -2.5. That's crazy. Like I don't see it. What I mean, I think
I'm
Ron
taking
Rivera's
that
on the
all
hot.
day.
Wow, I think
Yeah.
Ron Rivera's on the hot seat. I think the Giants actually got some momentum here after last week against a good opponent in Buffalo, who they rarely play. I mean,
I
that's
think
a good team.
Buffalo shoots themselves in the foot.
That's fine. They also did it with Tyrod Taylor. So I mean, it looks like Brian Dable's got some offensive stuff figured out. This is a divisional game. They're very familiar with each other. I mean, Tyrod Taylor, let's not forget, wasn't there a time that he also played in the NFC East back in the day? Wasn't he a Giant?
He was a Giant. Yeah.
Like, isn't this his second stint with the Giants?
I feel like you're right. Yeah.
So
I'll have
like
to
this
look that up.
because this is because I know he was in Buffalo forever. I feel like he's been with the Giants before.
I can look that
Or
up
some
really
NFC
quick.
East team.
Career. Yeah, yeah. His first 2 seasons, he started 5 game, or no, that was this year. My bad. No, this is actually his first stint. He went
Oh,
Ravens for 4 years, Bills for 3, Browns for 1, Chargers for 2, where he got stabbed in the
yeah, the
lungs or
Justin
something,
Herbert story, the birth.
and
Oh,
then Texans, and then Giants right now.
then
So
I'm mistaken. I guess I just have some fleeting memory of Tyrod Taylor absolutely torching some NFC East team, and I guess I could just see him doing that again, even without Danny Dimes.
I think
I
that
guess a get right game for the Giants here.
I think Robinson and McLaurin throw up 100 yards, their first 100-yard games each this game.
All right.
I think that they ball out. I think Tyrod Taylor keeps it close, but they're going to win by over 2.5. They're going to win by at least a field goal. So I'm going to
Wow.
take that line. Are you not going to take
I'm not
Commander?
taking that line. No.
Okay.
Giants all day. In fact, I think Giants make Washington struggle a bit on
All
defense
right.
from a defensive perspective. I think
All
Brian
right.
Dable and Wake Martindale are getting right, and they turning it up this game.
All right. All right. All right. Next we got Falcons at Buccaneers, Tampa Bay -2.5. I think that Baker bounces back, Mike Evans bounces back. They have a great game. They're not going to lay a stinker like they did last week.
Mike Evans is a
Um,
stud. He ain't dropping 4 passes back to back games.
no, I hope that the Falcons get their head right and they start using Bijan. Uh, give him the ball a whole bunch of times.
They're
Dump the
gonna have
ball
to.
off to him. Give him some screens. Have him be your check down guy. Like,
Yeah.
but either way, I think that the Bucks are gonna they're not gonna make the Falcons look silly,
Oh,
but
I think so.
they're gonna they're gonna win by at least a tutter. I think.
I think you're gonna see a beatdown. Honestly,
Yeah.
they're in Tampa, correct?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
At
I think you're gonna
Bucks.
see a beatdown. Honestly, I mean, I think Desmond Ritter is about to get exposed. That Tampa defense is legit. They can stop the run. I don't care if you got Bijan. The only team that's been able to run on Tampa has been Philly.
Yeah.
I think dude Baker's been looking incredible this year. Like they're probably going to win the NFC South if I had to pick right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like Baker. He lays some stinkers, but when he balls out, dude, it's so fun to watch Baker Mayfield play football.
agreed. I love his charisma too. But yeah, I think Buccaneers get a really nice
Yeah.
victory here, and it's going to just really give them some momentum to keep going.
Yeah. I'm with you.
All righty, Mike. Let's get into Detroit at Baltimore here.
All right. Baltimore's favored -3. Um, I'm super excited to see Jahmyr Gibbs play and get the workload that is needed.
Yes.
I think Goff stays hot this game, and I think that this offense continues to ball out against the Ravens. You like that?
I'm just listening. I find it very interesting.
Yeah,
I love our perspectives because they're like sometimes we have the same result, but for very different reasons. And like I noticed this week we have quite a few things we're different on. So
yeah. I think that the Ravens pass defense has been great, but they haven't faced a team like the Lions yet.
what do you mean by that?
They haven't faced the caliber of team like the Detroit Lions. Um, and I don't know. I think it's going to expose some stuff on the defensive side of things of the Ravens. I think that they do have a great defense, but I don't think they have the type of defense that's going to stop what the Lions are doing right now. They're dynamic. Their rush game's have been great. Their pass game's have been great. Their rush defense or their rush defense has been great as well. I mean, I don't know. I think they haven't faced an overall complete team like the Lions yet, and I think that they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna smack them, but I think that they're gonna win by a touchdown or so.
Wow.
I mean, a lot of people are hyped on Lamar, loving him, loving the season that he's having, all that. He has been decent. You know, I think Mark Andrews is going to have a heck of a game against the Lions,
I
but
hope so for my fantasy season. Oh
I
man,
don't,
I need that man.
I don't think, I just don't think it's going to happen for him, man. I don't like that line. Like, I don't know what, I mean, you got to look back. The Ravens have played the Texans. They played the Bengals when Joey Burrow
The
was.
Texans who beat the Jaguars. Let's not forget, smoked them.
They played the Bengals when Joey Burrow was not doing Joey Burrow stuff. They
That is
played the
true, but it's
Colts.
also a divisional matchup.
They played the Colts. They played the Browns. They played the Steelers.
What did Lamar do to the Browns? Absolutely dissect them.
And they played the Steelers and then the Titans. They haven't faced an offense that is anywhere near as good as the Lions coming into this game. Not even close
That
at
I'll
all.
give you the offensive side of the ball, but I mean the Titans are always a tough task, man. Rabe's always got those dudes coached all 3 sides of the ball. I mean the Titans that was a game until
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill got hurt. I mean,
And you know who beat the Ravens? The Pittsburgh Steelers with the worst offense in the NFL.
hey, come on, you got a lot of like the ball bounced your way in
It
a
doesn't.
very nice manner. Let's put it.
I
that
can't
way.
help that the Ravens receivers can't catch balls.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
Like
still
you got
that's
all
still
pro Mark Andrews out here dropping touchdowns. Like that does not happen.
it did.
I understand. So I'm saying you run that, but you run that
And
game back another 9 times, and that I'd be willing to put money down the Ravens win that like more than 5 out of
I
10.
mean, AFC North games are always weird. I will give it up to that caveat, but I think that this is the best offense that they're going to have faced,
That's
and
true.
it's going to be close. And I think that they're also facing, this is the most complete team they're facing,
That's
hands
a
down,
fact. That's a fact.
hands down. And I don't think that the Ravens have, they're going to be competitive. It's going to be a close game, but I think that the Lions pull it off. I think that Goff stays hot. I think Goff is playing better than Lamar. And that's, you know,
All
what do you
right,
got? What's your
let's get in
opinion?
this. I don't. This is by no means any like Lions hate. I am enjoying the fact that the Lions are actually having not just like a Cinderella story season. Like this is a legitimate success. They have built this from the inside out. Like this
And
is
from last
real.
year, they're
Yeah,
carrying momentum.
this is very real. Okay, like this is definitely a measuring stick game for in every way, shape, and form for each team. I mean, this is just in general for the league. This is about to be this is some playoff football right here. Like like to quote Rich Eisen, we live in a point in time where this is a real potential Super Bowl matchup.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at
That
all.
you're
Ravens
saying
aren't
in some
Ravens
alternate
aren't going to the
universe right now, like there's not pathways for each of these teams to go get to the Super Bowl.
the Ravens are not a Super Bowl team. No, I don't think they are.
I
They
don't
don't
think they
have they
are
don't
either.
have the
But
receiver.
you're
Well, then
gonna
that's
deny the fact that there's even a plausible path.
you just said that you don't think they are, so there isn't a path. If you don't think that they're a Super Bowl
I'm
contender,
saying
I don't.
schedulistically, like if okay, I think the Ravens obviously are getting better through time, but if you look at the way the AFC is set up and the way the NFC is set up, I believe there is a legitimate path that the Ravens could get there. I'm not saying that they are the team that's going to get there. I'm saying
Yeah,
there's a path that it's plausible. Like it's just crazy to think that the Lions are this good. Like
I mean, I know it's so like we both come from. I am a AFC North guy, and you're an NFC North guy, so we
right.
both look at these teams totally differently. The Steelers cripple the Ravens. The Steelers have crippled Lamar Jackson every time I've watched him because as soon as you start pass rushing him, eliminate him running, he just turns into a puddle. Like he doesn't know what to do. He falls apart in the second half of the game.
Well, and
He
that's the
gets
thing.
frustrated, and I think that the Lions have that defense to get down their throat and stop him from running the ball. And he's going to have to pass, 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 pass. And I I mean, granted, it probably would have beat the Steelers if they caught some of those balls, but I think that the Lions have a better secondary, and they're not going to let that happen.
See, I think it's the opposite game plan for the Ravens. That's the one thing that's given that Lions defense trouble is running quarterbacks. I think Lamar is going to try to throw, but they're going to have that. I think they're going to have the pass defense pretty well on lock. The Lions are, and it's going to force Lamar to run, and it's going to break the Lions
Kind of
back.
like he did in London, where he was like running the ball, and then that really opened up the game for them.
Pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
you can say that about a lot of defenses, but the Lions specifically, I don't have the exact stats in front of me, but I definitely was reading up on some stats earlier this week that they struggle mightily when they have to face a running quarterback. So I don't think it's like a big offensive shootout or anything. I'm going to take this line. I like Baltimore to win this 24-20.
Okay. Okay.
I think their defense is good enough to stop that hindered offense of the Lions. I think the David Montgomery loss is way bigger than people are giving it credit for because the knock on Jameer Gibbs coming out was his size. He's already been injured. He's coming back off injury. We'll
Yeah.
see if he can handle this load. They need him to, as they said, because if the Lions, let's be real here, if Craig Reynolds doesn't play and Jameer Gibbs doesn't exactly live up to expectation in this game, they don't have a run game. And the Lions are built upon the run. If the Ravens can just kind of keep the run game under control, suddenly the passing game isn't quite as dangerous. And I think they have the passing defense to pretty much bracket Amon Ra. And if you see Jameson Williams going deep, Kyle Hamilton's back there. He's a great safety, like
Yeah.
especially for at this point in his career. He's on a good trajectory. Like I think the Ravens are just a little too complete, honestly. Like I think they're going to sneak it out. I think if the Lions had David Montgomery, I'd be real
I mean,
tempted to take the
the
Lions.
last
He's
time
a
that
good running back, man.
the
He's
last
underrated.
time the last time Jameer Gibbs, let me look this up, but I
He had
think he had
17 touches at a max in a game this year.
yeah, and I think that resulted in like 80 something yards.
Yeah.
That's a good game.
That's like not bad, not great. That's a good game. It's
You
like
would take that out of your one running back every week
probably,
if he can
yeah.
give it.
You're
That's
talking about in real life football or like in fantasy football?
just real life football. Your
Yeah,
team playing.
definitely. You would
So,
definitely take that. Yeah.
so I do agree that Montgomery being out, that dude's a horse, man.
Yeah, he looked different this year. Like in terms of like, I think he
Yeah,
got better as a player as himself. Going just besides schematically, he improved
yeah.
physically and stuff.
Well, I like that we disagree on that one.
Yeah, me too.
And we disagree on it. It's totally our you being a Packers fan and me being a Steelers fan biased. That's so funny.
It really might be. Dude, I think if they had David Montgomery, I'm taking the Lions in this game. I think he's that good. Like, I think there's a reason they paid him the money they did on that contract. Like, I think we've seen in this league now when you have a running back that is better than just average to maybe even elite, it's worth it. Like
Wasn't the Lions
Christian
game?
McCaffrey, Nick
Weren't the
Chubb.
Lions running? Weren't the Lions running last year? Rushing? Weren't they phenomenal as well? Like again
Yeah, they
last
already
year.
had a good running game. Yeah, but
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
think
know if it
it's.
was
I don't
quite
know if
this
it's the
good.
guy. I mean, the guy can help, but their schemes, their offensive line, they make runners look good.
I would agree, but I mean, I'm talking like I don't think it's been this good. They had DeAndre Swift last year, who like had a real hard time staying healthy, and like
Yeah.
he would show flashes here and there. But
Hmm.
I mean, Jamal Williams, it's like he pretty much just
Goal line, punch it in.
yeah, he was a goal line punch it in type of back, and I like he had 17 touchdowns, but he still barely cracked 1,000 yards on the year,
Yeah.
and he played virtually every game. I think he missed like one or two. I think
Yeah,
it
I
was just
think this
one.
game this game is a must. I can't wait to watch this game.
Oh,
This
it's gonna
game
be
is going to be
great. Yeah,
sick.
it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
It's gonna
I
be
think it
epic.
so the last note that I have I think on here was this game is going to be like an AFC North football game. It's going to be
Yeah,
like
it's gonna
just
be
boom.
just a heavyweight fight. Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
All right.
We have
Next game.
and the thing about fights is like the way a fighter fights, like his style. That's what makes the fight. You know what I mean? Like everybody loves. Like nobody's tuning in to watch Conor McGregor if he fights like every other robot boxer or
Yeah.
UFC fighter out there. You know what I mean? Like it's about the style. And like Baltimore and Detroit, that to me just sounds like
Dogs.
oh, that's a heavyweight
I'm
bout
taking
right
Dan
there, man.
Campbell over Harbaugh any day in a fight.
In a physical fight, I would definitely take that.
This
But
is about to be that, and that's why I got the Lions beating the Ravens.
see, I think old Harbaugh gonna teach MC what it's like to coach the
Oh,
National
Harbaugh got a
Football League
broken hip.
here. This is a Harbaugh type of game here.
They got their lucky Super Bowl with Joey Flacco.
Hey, at the time he was good for that type of NFL.
Yeah, for one season. And more than one, but
That's your AFC North bias coming out right there. Ben got more than Flacco. Be happy. Ben got more than one. Be happy.
show up to 3, baby.
I mean, he
And the
won
one
two.
that they lost, I
Yeah,
was happy about that too.
yeah, it's true. The
All
only one
right,
for
so
A-Rod so far.
we got Cardinals at Seahawks. Seahawks favored by -8. Home game. No James Conner. Geno had 0 touchdowns last week, 2 interceptions. This guy's going to bounce back this game. I think Dobbs is also going to have a great game with Hollywood Brown because I think Dobbs is going to be fighting and say, hey, I know Kyler Murray's coming back and he wants to show that he can still ball out. I mean, he wants a paycheck. He's a good football player. Like you can't deny that. He sat third string in Pittsburgh forever. And now it's kind of a joke looking at our third string quarterback, Mason Rudolph. Like Dobbs came out and said, I can play football. I can use my legs. He's got an arm at a team that nobody thought would be worth anything in their dogs. They come out and fight. The loss of James Conner hurts bad.
Definitely.
The Seahawks are going to put up 400 plus yards on this Cardinals team, and they're going to cover that -8 all day long.
Yeah, I mean, this might be odd to say considering it's got such a big line, but like for me, this is kind of like probably the most uninteresting game of the week. Like I really could care less. I think
It's
Seattle's
there
just
with
gonna
that.
smash them, and it's gonna be that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of those typical. I shouldn't say typical. It's gonna be one of those few games you get every year in the NFL where you see a matchup and you see a line, you're like, that's kind of big. And then you like literally think about it for about 5 seconds and you're like, makes sense. Probably going to happen. So
It's hard to find an avenue where the Cardinals, especially without James Conner, man,
yeah,
he was so great.
Keontae
beginning of
Ingram
this
and
year.
Imari DiMarcado are definitely.
Nowhere.
I'll tell you what, man. James Conner looks a lot different. He looks like a lot better player this year. As you know, I'm a James Conner hater. I've never been a fan.
I was always supporting him
Yeah,
back
but
when we used to talk when he was a Steeler.
yeah,
But
and my biggest
but
knock on him back then is still the
injuries,
same and true
injuries,
right
injuries,
now.
injuries, man.
The best ability is availability.
Yeah, man, that stinks for them. And I wish that dude could stay healthy, but
Good
they
story for
use
him though. He's
they
still an
use the
NFL
shit
running
out of
back,
him.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, he's from. I got that
that's
tattoo right here,
that's
that
why
little
he's
heart.
injured. They run that rock through his hands, man.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
you're
My whole
right.
family, like I was showing that tattoo where the heart is. That's where my family. A lot of my family's from Erie, Pennsylvania. That's where James Conner's from. So,
Nice,
but
nice. So you got like
he
literal
ha-
personal hometown bias there. That's awesome.
I mean,
I shouldn't say
unfortunately,
bias, but like respect and like
yeah.
commonality there.
But like you said,
Oh
best
yeah,
ability is availability, and he is not an available guy. And so we're both taking this Seahawks -8.
correct.
All right. All right. We got 3 more games left. We've been a little long-winded, but it's been fun.
Yeah,
All right. These next 2 games are going to be nice. We got Chargers at Chiefs. Kansas City favored by -5.5.
yeah.
Um,
I think
it's hard
that
to bet
line is.
against.
Oh, you go for it.
Okay, yeah, I was just gonna say it's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
The pass defense for the Chargers is booty cheeks. Um, the Chiefs defense will show up and they're gonna get to Herbert and they're gonna sack Herbert and Herbert's hurting. And that's not good for the Chargers. They
agreed.
do, I mean, they got I think that Eckler has a bounce back game from that stinker last week, his second game back from injury. And they got Keenan Allen, who is just he's been phenomenal, man. It's so they, they've been hyper targeting him, which is great. Give your ball to your best guy
Yep, I
without
love that.
Williams in there. Like you love to see that, but I still don't think that there's a chance. I think Pacheco, Kelsey ball out and do the Kansas City Chiefs thing. You may see a multiple touchdown game from Travis Kelsey,
Probably. Yeah, I
but
think I think this line is a bit high, and like it's
I
just
would agree with that.
I don't want to take the
I
Chiefs,
did.
but I
I did
have
not.
to because you just can't bet against Mahomes. Like I mean,
Yeah.
The Chargers are the only team that have consistently played the Chiefs tough
Yeah.
over the Mahomes era. Put it that way.
Yeah.
And I do think the Chargers keep it tight. Unfortunately, the Chargers are just really good at blowing it, and I think the Kansas City will be able to win by like more than 3, and that's probably why the line is 5.5. So part of me thinks we're both being suckers here and taking this line. I feel like that they're going to win, but it might not be by 6 or more. But
I'm not
I think
taking
we're
this
lucky.
line.
Oh, you're not taking the line?
No, I think that I think Palmer is going to be a huge factor in this game, like he was last year. The best games that Joshua Palmer had last season were against the Kansas City Chiefs. He had a
Yeah.
2 touchdown game against the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not going to take this line. I think it stays close. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs won this. We still need to have that game where we see the Chargers like just go insane. Like it's just like a constant waiting for Herbert and that offense to blow up. With Williams being out, that is a major dagger to that happening.
Yeah.
But I think they keep the game close. I don't think they're going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
Well, and the one time they did explode, they lost, and that was to Miami. I mean, they had them. They had Miami dead to rights, and they let them off the hook.
Yeah,
I,
it's hard to root for the defense of the Chargers, man. They're just a stinker. Bosa is like, well, he's hurt.
Reminds me of the Packers. They have so much talent, and they just constantly underperform. Like I
Yeah.
feel that pain, Chargers fans. Like if any of you are watching
Are
this,
they real?
yeah. Well, oh no, they're real. They just don't exist in L.A. They're all still in San Diego. That's where they're
Yeah.
at. I mean, I seriously still feel bad for those people. I would cry if the Packers left Green Bay.
How, I mean, I don't know why they even, I mean, that's beyond any of our knowledge of why they're not there anymore. But
I don't
man,
even want
have
to
you
get
been to
into it.
San Diego?
No, I have not, but I've been to
I can't
LA and I
imagine.
don't like it.
Oh, dude, San Diego is nothing like LA. San Diego
Exactly.
is, I, I would kill to just go see a football game there every other week or so. Like that would be amazing.
My only experiences with LA are that LA is kind of a dump. So
Yeah. It's definitely different from our Midwest lifestyle.
But yeah,
So
carrying on here.
so you taking this or what?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think I'm going to take it. McCole Hardman is very familiar with that Chiefs offense. I think Andy Reid's going to have like one or two plays dialed up for him, and I think the Chiefs get a cheap touchdown, basically a
Hmm.
free one. You know what I mean? And that'll be enough to cover the line at some point in time during the game. Um, but I do think the Chargers keep it close for the most part. I think you're going to see that scripted play to Hardman probably in the second half. I do think to win the game though, they're going to need some Mahomes magic. They're going to need him to either like have a Trevor Lawrence type of scrambling night like we saw last night, you know, knowing when to run and ripping them off for 20 yards at a crack, if not more. Or just, you know, finding the open guy, extending the play. They're going to need that because obviously these receivers still haven't stepped up. So it's going to be it's going to be Mahomes to Kelsey and Pacheco running the ball and whoever else steps up. I think
Yeah.
that Chiefs defense is even better than it was last year. I'm not really worried about Palmer,
And now they have a
honestly.
run game. Pacheco's created a run game
Oh
for the
yeah,
Chiefs that you never even thought of. Like, okay, we have deficits in the past. Well, Pacheco said, "Hey, give me the rock." And they've
yeah.
created a run game, which makes them more dynamic when they don't have the receivers that they used to.
Yes, I would agree. Yeah, I think it'll be a lower scoring game, relatively close, and then Kansas City will just kind of pull away due to some Mahomes
Have
magic
they
and
ever been
some
lower
Andy Reid
scoring?
magic. Chargers Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's been a couple instances.
I think this is going to be in the 20s or 30s.
Yeah, I'd say like lower 20s personally.
Yeah.
I'm
All
thinking
right.
like
Well,
27-20, something like that.
we got a difference here, which is nice. Keep it mixed up.
Yeah, definitely.
Next game we got, which is that it's got to be the game of the week, right?
Oh, most definitely.
Dolphins, Eagles,
Oh, I mean,
Philadelphia.
it's Detroit and Baltimore and Philly and Miami. Those are the two games of the week.
So the Dolphins are at the Eagles. Eagles are favored -2.5. This is going to be an awesome game.
I think that home
Dolphins
field is going to be big for Philly with that weather
Dolphins
coming in.
average 505 yards per game.
That's insane.
The Eagles are 407 yards per game. I don't really have. I mean, I'm just going to spitball some notes that I have. Uh, AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, ball out.
Yes.
I really a lot of my notes were I'm just excited to see this game happen. I think that the Eagles are going to be able. They're going to get exposed like by in the past game, which they have been this year. Like,
Yeah, their pass defense has been subpar, that's for
and it's
sure.
going to be hard to stop a team that has a crazy 505-yard average. Like that's going to be tough, man.
I mean,
I
eh, that's very true. I mean, just stopping Tyreek Hill at all, let alone in that scheme, is a tough
nobody
task.
can.
You know, yeah, like he's single handedly the most valuable non quarterback in the NFL, next to maybe an edge rusher.
Waddle hasn't had his blow up game yet.
Agreed.
That's sitting and waiting. That's a ticking time bomb. Like,
Yeah.
dude, that I don't know. Do you have any specific notes in your?
Yeah, I mean, but like just based off the way you just brought me right back to like my original thought when I first saw the schedule for this week, and that was, you know, man, I think Philly's probably the better team, the home field advantage. Like I have all these points, like I pretty much planned on picking Philly, but I think you literally just kind of talked me out of it and made me revisit the thought of Miami can just score from wherever, whenever. Like talk about broken plays, free touchdowns, like Miami, like we saw Stephon Diggs get a busted play against Miami, got loose for like a 60-yard score or something like that. Like Miami does that with one arm behind their back.
Yeah,
Like it's nothing. I mean, I don't know. To some degree, I do think that Philly can run the ball very well, and that defense is so good. They
and
are going to
so
get
can
Jalen Carter back. Like the defense, the pass defense is not good for Philly, but that D line is so good that they can make the pass defense
yeah,
better. So like I kind of worry if maybe Miami is in danger of scoring too quickly. You know, like they have like one of the shortest time of possession averages in the league, and it's like they're constantly just scoring as soon as they get the ball, and you almost got to wonder if the Eagles can just run it because Miami's defense can't stop anybody. If the Eagles can just run it and play ball control, it pretty much neutralizes that offense.
yeah,
So I mean, I think I'm gonna have to stick to my guns here, and I'm rolling with the Eagles. I'm taking that line, Philly
yeah.
two and a half.
I think the Dolphins are going to win this game.
All right, let's keep it different.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I mean, dude, it's
you got
it's
you
so
got two
close.
great you got two great running backs. I think that with those You got Mostert and Swift. I think that those guys equal each other out this game. And I think it's going to come down to receivers. Granted, I'm talking myself out of it. AJ Brown versus Tyreek Hill. I mean, Tyreek Hill is obviously crazy, but so AJ Brown's a specimen, man.
I mean, dude, like we were
And then
talking
you got
about fighters and having styles. This
Smith
is
and
literally
Waddle.
speed and power. Like this is gonna be nuts.
Then you got Smith and Waddle. Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a great game, but I still think that
Don't
the
forget old man
Dolphins,
Julio. Real
that
impactful.
Mr. Irrelevant, we don't even need to talk about that guy.
You see that interview at the locker room, like at his locker, he's all like, "I came here to dominate," like.
You're not dominating
Yeah,
anything
A for
anymore.
effort, but you're kind of old, man. Like
Yeah.
it's over. Just accept it. Like,
You
hey,
were going to be remembered as being great.
yeah, you're getting a gold jacket, first ballot. Just hang it
Hope,
up, man.
hopefully you get a ring here.
That'd be cool, but unfortunately, I don't think Philly winning it this year. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. I mean, they got a good squad. I like Jason Kelsey. I like Jalen Hurts. Like not only
I
as
like
a
Jalen
player, but as
Hurts.
a human, just the same way I like Jason Kelsey. It's like I've been a fan of AJ Brown. I thought he was wasting away in Tennessee. Glad he got out of there. Like I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
seeing it because I know the Packers ain't going.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on there. I don't, even though I
And
think
fuck the
the
Niners
West
always.
Side is the best side of Pennsylvania, the Eagles are definitely the better team. I got the Penguins though. The Penguins are better than the Flyers, so we're good there.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
All right. The last game that we have, which isn't a big exclamation point like the Dolphins Eagles, is the 49ers at the Vikings. San Francisco favored -7. That line may change, being that it's the Monday Night Football game. If Christian McCaffrey plays, this game is going to be more than -7.
Yeah.
If he's ready to go, if Debo is ready to go, Christian McCaffrey's ready to go, this game is more than -7. But like you were saying earlier in the episode, do they even need him?
I don't think
Like,
they do. But
I don't
do I
think.
think they need them to cover the line and then some? Yeah.
Yeah, you think?
Just because I think, if they are whooping up on them that bad, there's a good chance you see starters getting pulled and all of a sudden Minnesota's getting garbage time points.
Yeah.
So
I think not Christian,
Christian
Kirk
McCaffrey.
Cousins. Sorry,
Oh,
Kirk Cousins, my bad. I think Kirk Cousins still continues to ball out. He's been a great quarterback. I think Jordan Addison's going to get some nice plays. I'm a big Jordan Addison fan. I think he's going to get some nice deep balls. There's going to be no run game for the Vikings. I can
yeah.
tell you that. But the fact that they have primetime Kirk, even though people don't like primetime Kirk is actually not bad at football. I think he does keep this game somewhat interesting, but at the end of this, the San Francisco is going to cover that line, and it's going to be even more covered if McCaffrey and Debo play that game.
Yeah. I don't know. I think if Debo and McCaffrey do play, I think they definitely cover the line. If they're not going to play, I don't think so. I still think they win either way. Either way, that's tough. If I had to hedge a bet, I'm gonna say they'll cover the line. I mean, I
Yeah.
just don't see how the Vikings are going to move the ball, let alone consistently. I just think they're going to get to Kirk often. They're
Yeah.
going to get the ball out with a sack, or they're going to pick them off. I just that Niners defense is too good.
Or the Vikings are just going to fumble the ball on their own.
I mean, low key,
Just give them the ball.
I think the Vikings are quiet tanking, and they're not going to admit it.
I mean, they need a whole lot more than a new quarterback, though.
They have, I mean, not exactly. As long as you
That
can nail the
defense
quarterback.
stinks.
Yeah, okay. You have draft picks coming up next year. As long as you
Yeah.
draft well, like there's hope. I'm not saying you're going to turn around and be a Super Bowl contender next year and go
Yeah.
13-4 and go 11-0, one score games again. But like, I'm just saying you can. There's at least hope there if you are able to go get one of the top 2-3 guys prospects coming out.
Yeah, and
Caleb
keep
Williams,
Justin
Drake
Jefferson
May.
wanting to be there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, I had big hopes for them. I thought that the Vikings and the Lions were going to be the top contenders
I did not.
this year.
I figured
in
the
the
Vikings
NFC
would
North.
regress badly the way they are.
I didn't think they would regress this bad, though.
Well, I
Like,
think to be fair, if they still had Justin Jefferson, it probably doesn't look this bad. But like, I think if they had Justin Jefferson for that whole game, I think the Chiefs were in real danger of losing
yeah.
because JJ is clutch, man. He is clutch.
And Kirk is a great quarterback, man. I would love to
He,
see Kirk Cousins win a Super Bowl or do something like that, but he's just never been a part of, maybe he's part of the problem, but he's never been had that complete team to propel him to a chance to win a Super Bowl. But
yeah,
if you put Kirk Cousins on the San Francisco 49ers,
Super Bowl.
holy crap.
Yeah, I think Kirk
Like,
Cousins is a lot better than the disrespect he does get. I would
I'm
agree
a
with that.
yeah, I
I
hate that.
don't. You can stand on your island with the whole primetime Kirk thing, though. I mean, the stats just back it up.
Yeah. I don't know.
Win
I
a
saw
loss
that
column.
documentary. He's got a whole bunch of primetime Kirk trophies.
He's got a few.
Yeah. But all right. So you're taking that with me. Kind of
Yeah,
as a let's just be at the same page. If neither of us could take it, we would just be like, I don't want to take any of this.
pretty much. Yeah.
But that's not what we're playing here. We got to have picks. But
Yep.
if we both pick the same, it nullifies it.
Correct.
All right, man. Well, that was long-winded, but
Yeah.
hopefully we had some good insights and had a good conversation that people want to listen to.
Yeah, long-winded, but long enjoyed, at least on my end. I hope
Yeah.
everybody else out there watching and listening enjoys it. Just a couple reminders. We appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Hmm.
Go ahead and give this video a like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Don't want to miss an episode. Just comment all your hot thoughts, hot takes, whatever it is. Put it out there. The content you want us to talk about. Maybe there's a player that you think needs some recognition or a player that's overrated, what have you. Put it out there. We'll get to it. Still looking into trying to get this podcast out onto Audible platforms, but I think for now we're just trying to see if we can make some sort of a footprint here on YouTube and go from there. Other than that, yeah, hopefully I can see you everybody and yourself, Mike, on Sunday.
All right. Peace.
Take care, everybody.